What is going on, guys? Andrew Hayes here, back with another review, and today I'm reviewing Incredibles 2, which is directed by Brad Bird, who also directed the first one and stars Craig T. Nelson and Holly Hunter, reprising their roles from the first one. Now, I've been waiting for this movie for 14 years. I remember seeing the first one in theaters. I remember, walking out of that movie, and with the ending of the first one, I just wanted the second one pretty much immediately. I waited 14 years for that to finally happen, and I couldn't believe that I came, because I remember, it got announced, in 2014. I remember when it was announced. I remember where I was when it was announced, and even like before it was announced, that's like the one movie, because I mean, by that point we already had Toy Story 3, and we already had another Monsters Inc. and I believe Finding Dory was announced, and that was another one that I was kind of asking for, but Incredibles 2 was like at the top of the list, the one that I just wanted. And at that point, I just remember being like, oh, maybe it's never coming, but then they finally announced it, and I was super excited, but, we would still have to wait another 4 years for it, and, we did get the other third Cars movie. And I know the big joke was, we got, two Cars movies, before Incredibles, but I'm just glad that we finally got Incredibles 2, and I'm very happy that, I can say that the 14 years was worth the wait. It was very much worth the wait. It picks up immediately right after the first one, like where the first one ended, this one immediately picks up from that. And I absolutely love that, because I just remember, after the first one thinking, I want to see what this Underminer character could do and what you could do with it. And, while he isn't in it too much, you see what they could do with it, and, the aftermath of that, and, I loved it. They build more upon the characters. Now, and I think that this movie did very well, especially building upon Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, and especially seeing, expanding, their relationship together, and their relationship, with the family as a whole, and I loved it. I loved the story. Elastigirl is really the main focus of this movie, and I really love the reasoning why, because they kind of give a reasoning why she has to go on the main mission, and I just thought it was really, really cleverly done and cleverly explained, and I just really enjoyed that. I also, love, again, like I said, what the main purpose of this movie is, because, in the first one, heroes are illegal, so they're trying to kind of fix that. And I love that they're trying to do it, because heroes aren't the bad guys. They're just kind of, the easiest thing to put the blame on, because of all this destruction and chaos that happens. And, they are illegal because of that, and the government just sees it as, someone to put the blame on. And they're trying to prove, we're not the bad guys here. We're the good guys. We're preventing the bad guys from doing bad things. And it's just not a bad thing what we're doing. And I really, really enjoyed that. But I gotta say, the standout easily in this movie is Jack Jack. Now, I remember loving Jack Jack in the first one. I really enjoyed him. But even though he didn't get too much screen time, I remember really liking him. And I thought not that he was the standout in that movie, but I just remember going, I want to see more Jack Jack. I want to see what his powers are going to be and whatnot. And they really, really explore that in this movie. And he easily, while he was my favorite, from the first one, I mean, this one really solidified him as my favorite, and he easily stole the show. and I loved a certain sequence with a raccoon that he is involved in. I think that is just, it was just hilarious and amazing. Um, and other than that, I think the humor is done pretty well, while the emotional moments are also done very, very, very well. And I just love what they were trying to do with this movie. And I do have one problem, and it's not too big of an issue. The only problem that I have is the villain. I thought the villain was pretty weak. I thought they could have done something similar to what they did in the first one, which I would not have liked, and I like this better than that. But it considering how great Syndrome was as a villain and how much depth he had to Syndrome, there was to Syndrome, and just how great of a character Syndrome was, and how great of a villain he was. This was a considerable step down, and while I don't think the villain was terrible by any means, but the villain could have just easily been a lot better. I mean, other than that, I absolutely love this movie. It was, like I said, well worth the 14 years wait. I want a third one now. I think, having a third one it would be a great trilogy. I give this movie an A. I think it is a fantastic sequel, one that we should have gotten a long, long time ago, but nonetheless, very well, very much worth the wait. Please be on the lookout for my next review. I don't know what it's going to be. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. Until next time, guys, have a nice day.